Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to explore the art of recovery, how to listen to your body and use recovery as a tool for adaptability and longevity. Recovery is an internal process that helps us grow stronger and more resilient. My goal is to help you understand recovery as a multidimensional practice that's essential for our health. Recovery is more than just taking time off or rest. It's a holistic process that involves our biological, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When we're well recovered, our bodies and minds adapt more easily to life's stressors, meaning that we're able to better handle stress. We're more resilient and more able to respond to things in a healthier way. But recovery is not passive. It requires mindful intentionality. And there's no one right way to do it. We need to experiment with recovery and figure out what works best for us. Recovery is ultimately an act of self-awareness, a process of tuning in and learning what brings us back to balance. Our bodies do a tremendous amount of work while we're at rest, and we know this best through sleep. We heal, we rebuild, we replenish. Our muscle fibers repair and rebuild. Our mitochondria multiply, and they are able to produce more energy. Our hormones rebalance, and during rest, this is a time where we really sweep out the toxins that we build up throughout the day. Adaptation happens not during exertion, but in the rest that follows it. To get into this state of recovery, we have to shift from a sympathetic state into a parasympathetic state. So the sympathetic nervous system is that fight or flight state where our cortisol levels are higher, that's our stress hormone, our heart rates are higher, the blood is typically in the periphery of our body and our muscles so that we can really get up and go or fight or flight as quickly as we need to. However, this is a stressed state of being. In the parasympathetic state, we're more relaxed and calm. And this allows for us to do all of those processes of rebuilding and healing. We also are able to think more clearly, our moods are typically better, and we have more compassion towards others and towards ourselves. Recovery is about learning ways to help us spend more time in this parasympathetic state of being. Beyond the physical body, recovery is also emotional and spiritual. Practices like mindfulness, gratitude, and self-reflection build our emotional stability and reconnect us to our sense of purpose. Time in nature is one of the most powerful recovery tools. It lowers our cortisol, our stress hormone. It improves our heart rate variability, and it induces awe, which shifts our nervous system into that calm parasympathetic state. Spiritual practices like prayer, ceremony, and meditation honor the sacredness of recovery. They remind us that recovery is not withdrawal from life, it's a return to presence, connection, and meaning. Learning to recover well begins with listening. Our bodies send us subtle messages long before we reach a state of illness and exhaustion. Signs like poor sleep, fatigue, feeling sore or irritable, or just feeling off are a few examples of how the body whispers to us that it needs some care. The key is to tune in early and often, rather than waiting for those whispers to become shouts. Daily self-reflection builds body literacy, an understanding of what we need. This prevents illness and burnouts by catching imbalances before they spiral out of control. Paying attention to yourself is a treat in and of itself, and we are also lucky to have many tracking tools at our disposal. Some of you may already have experiences with some tracking tools like Oura Rings or Whoop straps or an Apple Watch, for example. And all of these tools have different metrics that you can track to see how your body is doing. If your heart rate variability is lower than normal, your heart rate is higher, these are all ways for us to check in, tune in, and pay attention and change our behavior so that we can help our bodies recover. There's no one right way to recover. In fact, there are so many. And I encourage you to engage in recovery on many different levels. So we can start by having these little micro recovery practices. And these could be things that you implement all throughout the day. Things like teaching yourself how to take a couple of deep breaths each time that you wash your hands, or standing up to stretch every hour. Then we have daily recovery that we can work on. And this might be something like taking a walk every evening after dinner with somebody that you love, or making sure that you sit down and you have no screens during a meal. Or it could be a morning meditation or journaling practice. And then we want to implement something weekly, a weekly recovery. That might be something a little bit more time intensive, like treating yourself to a massage or a sauna, or making sure that you spend one morning a week in nature. And then we can do a seasonal recovery practice. And these are things that are even more time intensive, which may include something like taking a vacation or participating in a retreat. To bring recovery into practice, start by experimenting with methods that feel good to you. Be intentional. Remember that this is a key component of recovery. And just like all of the healthy lifestyle practices that we encourage, be consistent with your recovery practice. Choose a micro, daily, weekly, and seasonal way to focus on yourself in this way. Set alarms to remind yourself to get these practices done, or stack them with some other habit that you already have, just like that deep breath with the washing hands. And put them on your calendar. You can always tell what is important to someone by looking at what they put in their calendar. Make recovery important. So much of a healthy lifestyle is focused on the physical aspect of health. But weaving together the physical, emotional, and spiritual, when we do that, we unlock whole person health. Recovery enhances our well-being by giving us time to heal, create, adapt, and connect. When you recover well, you don't just feel better, you perform better, you think more clearly, and you show up more fully in your life. Learning to tune in and listen to our bodies is an act of self-respect and self-love. It's how we maintain our vitality, our energy, and our joy. Remember, rest is not a reward for productivity. It's a requirement for growth. This is the art of recovery, learning to listen, to trust, and to create space for renewal every day. Thank you for being here, and may your recovery bring strength, clarity, and peace.